Hey everybody, this is part 2 of Zeba. No, Sinta. I can read. Before I get into the game, let's take a moment to appreciate this title screen. Wow, look at those faces. Those are expressions. I don't know what emotion Sinta is expressing, but it is extremely unsettling. Hopefully that was the intention. Actually, I know what this is. This is woozy face. You know the woozy face emoji? Well, this is that. So, good job, Papyrosoft. You were a decade ahead of Unicode. Also, who is this ugly bastard behind me? Why am I in his keep? We will be answering these questions and more. Never. Because I'm more than halfway through the game and I haven't seen a shred of lore yet. I've seen a good amount of needless, explicative, non-diegetic text, but none of it approaches the question of who these characters even are. Well, okay, that's enough rambling. I was in the West Wing when I left off. Let's get back in there. Oh, alright. I did not expect to find a hidden room right there. How is this supposed to be a pantry? It's all just columns. These jumps are going to be annoying, I can tell. I haven't really explained yet just what's so terrible about this game's jumping. So the distance between these columns is just barely within Sinta's jump range. To get from one to another, I have to run as far to the edge as possible before I jump. In fact, I'm not even on the column anymore. Look at this. After running off of a platform, Sinta floats in midair for about 2 frames. I have to jump precisely on the second frame since leaving the platform to get a little bit of extra distance. If I wait another frame to input a jump, she falls off. And this is the only way to do it. If I jump while Sinta is firmly planted on the platform, she will fall short. This jumping mechanism is terrible. It is very difficult to judge visually because it defies the conventional wisdom of jumping while your character is actually on the platform. It works on the basis of a small, vaguely defined increment of distance off of the platform. It looks weird and doesn't make sense. And this is assuming that the game pushes a consistent 30 FPS, like it's supposed to. These jumps would be just about impossible with any added visual disconnect. You know what? I'm done here. I was trying to collect every star, but I don't care anymore. I'm not going to waste my time if the game is going to throw inflated and unearned standards of difficulty at me. I'm not going to try to make 3 consecutive frame-perfect jumps when the jumping mechanism is fundamentally broken. And this is after the game pulled that crap about getting me stuck in 2 different places. I was way too late that time. But that is a tricky jump. It's wide and involves a moving platform. Get out of the corner, please. I keep forgetting that switch. Come on, touch the amulet already. Okay, that took longer than I would have liked. I did some research on the origin of the name Sinta, because that's what linguistics students do. We get hot and bothered over etymology. Anyways, the word Sinta refers to a female member of the Romani tribe. Interesting. So this is a game about ethnic persecution. The cats, like the Romani people, are a minority tribe that live in the canon of Germanic fairy tales. And yes, I will refer to them properly as Romani. I'm avoiding the G slur. I'm not trying to get myself cancelled over some funny internet games. Hey, check this out. The pause menu doesn't actually suspend the game. It just locks every character's X and Y position. More enemies are able to spawn. By going for the extra life, I've blocked off my exit. I'm going to go out the way I came to reset the room. Bad idea. Bad idea. I should have cleared out the enemies. I realize this. But I'm fine. Just almost dead. I think that the intention was for me to pass back over the fire and climb up to the top from the right, but it's easier to intersect through this wall. This room is just a mess. Where do I even begin? I want to get to that switch below me, so I'm going to very carefully jump. Oh, that works better, surprisingly. Those columns are loud, damn. Arrows go through most walls in this game, but they get stuck in these pillars. I will admit that this game has excellent shooting controls. It's very satisfying to be able to move the mouse to anywhere in the current room and to be able to shoot there. Very few 2D platformers have this degree of freedom and precision in shooting. A lot of games use a single stick or D-pad to control both movement and aiming. Super Metroid makes very good use of the SNES's single D-pad. For what it is, that scheme works, but it's still a result of hardware limitations. I think that it's much better to be able to move and aim independently. Antiquated single-stick controls have even made their way into newer games, like Contra Shattered Soldier. That game could easily have an option for two-stick control, but it doesn't. The Rockman games are even worse. The character is locked to only shoot horizontally. So, yeah, I like Sinta's mouse control. If only this game had better jumping controls to go with it. Okay, watch this. I wait here for the gargoyle to punch me. That sends me all of the way back to the basement. When I was playing the game earlier, I explored this route because I thought that there were stars that I could only collect if the gargoyle punches me. Looking at it now, that's clearly not true. I've already been through all of these rooms and collected their stars. Well, this is still a good place to stock up on arrows. I will be using those against the boss. You may now be hearing a strange effect that is happening to the game's music. Yeah, I still don't know what causes that. I got a similar effect way back when I was recording Dirty Bubble Busters, and a few times since. I've tried a few different recording methods to reduce the occurrence of whatever this is. I've used Windows 10's built-in capture application, and then an external capture card, and now a third-party recording program. Yet this strange audio distortion keeps popping up in new and unexpected ways. I'm starting to think that there's a defect in my computer's sound card or something. What's really weird is that the audio sounds normal when I'm playing. The distortion only becomes evident when I'm reviewing the video after the fact. Well, the distortion actually sounds cool this time. The music is bass, and the shots have a certain splat to them. I like it. I still haven't figured out the spikes and the fire. Sometimes they kill me instantly. Other times, they only do half damage. This boss fight is pretty intense and well constructed. It's better than the baseline of quality for the game as a whole. Sinta can't shoot while running or jumping. I have to really plant myself firmly in a good spot to get a clear, deliberate shot in. I don't mind that. It's somewhat realistic. I'm free to move the mouse around while I'm searching out the ideal vantage. Then I really let loose. What if I dropped one of these chandeliers on myself? Just kidding. Unless... This game made the interesting choice of cramming all of the story into the very end. All of it. Now it's setting up a sequel that never happened. Wow, that is art. I want to get that tattooed on the insides of my eyelids. So, yeah, interesting take on storytelling. I still have no idea who was that asshole that I just killed, or why he had me locked up in his castle. But that's fine. Who needs exposition? You don't need to pad your game with unnecessary text that explains every small triviality like, where the hell even am I? Just slap on one big red text box to point me in the direction of a few MacGuffins, and we're having a golden gay time, as they say it. The whole concept of a 3-act story is a vestige of pretentious, Eurocentric French modernist imperialism on the monopolization of the zeitgeist of our collective authentic fake. New Zealand has proven that you can have a perfectly sound plot with just the 2nd act. With that said, I'm going to submit my score now. Okay, that button just sends me back to the title screen. And this button doesn't work either. Excellent. No scores today. I have cancelled them. Hello everyone. It's the obligatory bug compilation. I've been doing these quite often recently, because these old Flash games just have so many bugs. They're great. Between these past 2 videos, I've complained a lot about this game's frame rate. It was actually relatively tame in that playthrough. It tended to stay above 12 FPS. I know that it can get much worse than that. This room is the worst. I usually have problems here. Do you see this? This is running at 4 frames per second. This is excruciating. And I know that it's not a problem with my computer. I've played Sinta several times with several computers over the past 10 years, and the frame rate is always extremely inconsistent. And the delay. The input delay is at least 1/4 of a second. Probably more. So yeah, these jumps are just about impossible when the game craps out like this, which is most of the time that I spend in this cursed room. I just want to know why. What about this room is so intense that no computer on Earth can render it? One time I actually made all of these jumps by sheer luck. What am I doing? I don't know. I'm pushing buttons and timing it in my mind, and somehow it works. Crazy. The frame rate immediately improves once I enter the next room. We're home free, right? Right? It's just as bad. That lasted for less than a minute. This one is actually fun. Remember that pause bug with the spawning snakes? Well, I can actually do much more with it. Perhaps, if a stump is throwing an axe when I pause, it doesn't stop. It just keeps throwing aces again and again. Oof. Oof is right, Sinta. Then there are the crushers. Unlike the enemies, they continue to move all of the way. They can crush me dead while the game is paused. This activates a weird game state. Because I respawned, the game automatically resumes. I regain control of Sinta, and the enemies move as they do. However, the pause overlay continues to cover the screen, and the buttons don't do anything. The game is already playing, so I can't double unpause it. It's stuck like this, unless if I reset the whole page. Well, this is technically playable, to an extent.